Hello and welcome to Zoe New World Order. Now, those who speak to me regularly, they know that I am still in great awe that Donald Trump, or at this point, President Donald Trump, is the new president of the United States. And, I had this channel up before, and I spoke in support of him, but not in support of him for reasons that everyone else who supports him does. As you know, I travel a lot, and I'm not in the United States at this time, so I'm seeing everything, the world, politics, from a much more different angle than the people who are actually in the States. Um, I'm seeing things from a position above, more along the lines of looking down upon the situation, as opposed to being engulfed in the absolute chaos that you all are. But when I talk about President Donald Trump, I speak of him as a person who is the embodiment of what the founding American principle is, which is to be enterprising, to be a creator, to be someone who is the embodiment of human potential. So, as a professional tarot reader, I always liken him, of course, to the magician card. And that's actually the how I the moving point behind this video is President Donald Trump a magician? Because he has taken something from nothing. Now a lot of people say, well, okay, his father gave him millions of dollars to start business or what have you. However, there are many people who win millions of dollars, win a lot of money, or come into a lot of money, who blow it, who don't flip it, who don't create businesses, corporations around the world. And to ignore that is to be a fool, is to be a fool. I'm not asking anyone to like his politics or to like him at all. That's a personal decision. However, I am saying study the man, study who he is, and study how it is that he became who he is today. And in the occult circle, whether or not there are different people or spiritualists or psychics or what have you who like him or don't, that's their own personal choice and decision. I'm not here to change any minds. However, I am here to cause one to think about what we know about human potential. So those of us who read tarot or are psychics or what have you, there's a card in our deck, in the major arcana deck, and it's called the Magician. Now, this is card 1. 1 is not the sign of potential, 0 is the number of potential, but 1 is the sign of new beginnings. However, the Magician is, in the tarot, the shortened version, because I can go on for a good hour, but the shortened version is the Magician is a powerful person. He is a seer. He is a visionary. He is a person, he or she is a person who can create at will. He is a manipulator of energy, of will, of purpose. And he manipulates things to bring about his desired effect. Now, many people in the occult world call themselves um, magicians and high magicians and things of that nature. And if you are that, your life should bear witness to that. That means that you are in complete control of your destiny. Is the magician for the deck that I use. And you see this person dressed in white and purple is actually a color of royalty. And he has an athame and a bowl, but for non people who are not in the occult or not involved in the tarot, I won't go too far, but I will stick with the basics that can connect this idea. The idea is that this is a person who takes an idea from the seed stage, the idea stage, the passing thought or something like that, and he turns this physically into a reality. Now, the magician, on the flip side, is a trickster. Um, he knows when to harness his energy, and he knows when not to. He knows when to direct his will, and he knows he may have his own private purposes and intent for directing his particular will towards whatever he sees fit. Now, the thing about the magician is that if you provoke this type of person, they will get you. They can be spiteful. They do not like anything that stands in their way. They're all about creating, and they can be selfish. They can be manipulative. These are the flip side, the reverse side, or the reverse traits of the magician. They can build, they can destroy, and they can do things on a very subtle level. This is how they do everything. This is how the magician does everything. Very subtly, very undercurrent, very, by the time you see it happen, it's a big bang. You understand what I'm saying? So by the time it's set out in the open, there was already a lot internally that went on in order for the message to be manifest on a wider, bigger stage. Now, all the things that I just described are nothing short of President Donald Trump. Everything that he's built shows that he's great at manipulating things, manipulating situations for his aim. Also, he doesn't take criticism well, which a magician would not. Criticism is seen as interfering with one's particular purpose and will. And when a person directs their will at a certain target, they expect to achieve it. So those who get in their way, um, those who step into their way, hell hath no fury in a different way. We typically use that phrase for a woman. But for a magician, you never know which way they're going to get you. They can attack you on a mental level. They can say things first to you. They can argue with you. They can spark emotion. They can wear you down with words and emotions. And then physically, that is the last manifestation of the outcome. Everything happens first mentally, then we have emotionally, and then with the final stage. I'm not going all the way into the occult because many of you may not be into the occult or into the tarot. So I'm giving you a very, very short version. However, if you notice how he attacks on 4 different levels. He attacks the mind, the emotions, and then the last part is the physical. And since he is someone with so much money, he has a great opportunity to destroy on a physical level. He can destroy everything you've built. And I'm sure he's had everything he's built destroyed. But with the magician, a person such as the magician, part of the fun or part of the interest is in the rebuilding. because it's a practice of will. People who are in the occult, tarot readers, psychics, and the like, we know that a loss is not a loss as it would be to a regular person. A loss is a test of strength. It is a test of will. It is a call to practice. It's a call to hone in one's skills. So people say, well, he went bankrupt and he was a millionaire. He lost everything. He's a failed businessman. A failed businessman means you have no businesses. It means that you have no income, you have no businesses, you file for bankruptcy, you have no money. If you have businesses in different countries, you're not a failed business person. That's not how business works, and that's not how failure works. And there's nothing wrong with failure if you learn from the reasons why you fail. And for those of us who study President Donald Trump in his current position, we're analyzing him on these different levels. Me as a professional tarot reader, I analyze him because not only is he the magician, represented in the magician, if I were to read cards for him, I'm sure there are 3 other cards that he could be represented in, the court card, some sort of king. But he's now also moved into the emperor stage now. He is the leader of a government. And with those particular traits, combining both of these particular traits or transitioning from the magician, which I don't think you ever really leave. Once you're a magician, you always have the ability to create from thin air. But to transition from the magician to the emperor, with the emperor being such a personality, such a very rigid person, a stubborn person, someone who likes things just so. However, within their rigidity, they can be a bit boring. They could be a bit boring. Also, these people like order according to their definition of it. Not only that, but they like a certain type of appearance. They do things for appearances, but they want to control the image that they have. And everything that I'm saying is, as we know, is quite indicative of Donald Trump. Now, I've not actually done a reading on him, and I don't think that I would do a specific reading on him and put this on the internet. Why? Because I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I learned this many years before the internet came about. So in some ways, for me to do a reading on his life is quite invasive. For me to do a professional reading and put this on the internet, it's invasive. It's a violation of privacy because my accuracy rate is high. However, what I am saying is particular traits that a man like this has, who is the embodiment of human potential and success in these modern times that we have. He has taken the founding American principles and he still carries them and is able to manifest them in 2017. And no matter if you hate him or if you love him, you have to admire his ability to transition to different phases in life. You know, to go from someone who can manipulate, take something from nothing and create a world, create his own world, to someone who can also govern that world and govern that world sharply. Like I said, whether you like him or not, that is your personal choice. However, he is definitely someone to watch, someone to study, if you are not in a similar position, because he is actually a teacher for how to be in a similar position for your own life. I'm going to close out this particular, it's not a reading, but it's just information from the tarot and looking at government because many of us actually do sort of readings like this. Many of us professional psychic tarot readers, we actually do a lot of readings regarding, I specialize in business. And we also do government readings and election readings, and we like to look at the deeper layers of everything that's going on, politics and so forth. But President Donald Trump is definitely someone to watch. He's definitely someone to watch. There's a lot more to him that meets the eye, and it's easier to hate the superficial part of him rather than to actually admire uh, human potential that is actually available or inside of us all that we allow to be dormant.